Today, we wanted to show you how to make a classic from the Jiangnan region, zuiji or drunken chicken. At its core, zuiji is cooked chicken that's soaked and chilled overnight in a boozy brine, but there's a couple different approaches here. Probably the most classic is to poach a freshly killed whole chicken and serve it cleaved across the bone. But because we've already covered a few poached bone-in chicken dishes, instead we'll show you another popular method, deboning some chicken, rolling it up, and steaming it. Basically, just as tasty, it's a bit more replicatable, and undeniably easy to love. So to get started with drunken chicken, you'll need wine. Now there's two Chinese techniques that are often translated as drunken in English, Zao and Zui. Zao uses this stuff, Zaolu pickle sauce, which is made by infusing rice wine lees into a spiced Shaoxing wine mixture. If you ever happen to run into a bottle of this stuff, buy it. It's awesome and basically requires no prep. Zui, meanwhile, makes a brine with straight-up Shaoxing as a base. It's a bit more common with chicken, and it'll make for less sourcing headaches, so that's what we'll be making today. So to get started with that brine, first add in 3 cups of water to a saucepan, then go in with some spices. You'll definitely want to add in 2-star anise, 1 cinnamon stick, about 15 whole cloves, and 1 teaspoon of fennel seed. Then optionally add in 3 grams of sand ginger, and you could just swap for dried galangal or just skip it, and also a heavily recommended 5 grams of goji berries. Now get that up to a boil, then down to a simmer, and over low heat let it reduce by roughly 1/3, so uncovered for about 15 minutes. Now, quick aside that we've seen some recipes call for stock here in place of water. You could obviously go that route too, you just have to use something nice like superior stock or else the brine will turn overly gelatinous. But regardless, now add in 1 cup of Shaoxing wine, or about half of a bottle. For the wine, try to use something decently tasty like a Huadiao Shaoxing wine if at all possible. Then, get it back up to a boil to cook out a touch of the raw alcohol taste, then down to a simmer, and season. So here, we added 2 tablespoons of salt, but if you happen to live somewhere with stupid alcohol laws, salted Shaoxing might be your only option. Most abroad seem to be 1.5%, so in that case, cut the salt in half. Also add in 1 tablespoon of sugar and 2 teaspoons of MSG, optionally swapping the MSG for a tablespoon of fish sauce if you're in the mood. Once those are dissolved, shut off the heat, let that come down to room temperature, then toss in the fridge. Now for the chicken. Most traditional for this dish would be to debone a whole chicken, and I promise one day we'll walk that mile with you. But for now, I hope you'll forgive us for using 2 large legs instead. While neither me nor Steph are exactly Jacques Pepin when it comes to deboning, to do this, first slice down to get to the thigh bone, then scrape the meat off. Now pull it up and cut that out. Then slice down on both sides of the leg bone, cut along the bottom, slice it off at the ankle, and finally remove it from the thigh side. Cut out any excess fat or cartilage, and you've got yourself a deboned leg. Now, take the back of a knife and pound the chicken flat for about 1 minute. Then, starting from the narrower drumstick side, with the skin facing down, tightly roll the chicken up, a bit in the same way that you would sushi. Now with that rolled, get a bit of gauze or cheesecloth, and cut up a few pieces of twine. Place the chicken roll on the cloth and roll it up tightly again. When rolling, some of the meat might have squeezed out a bit, so just tuck that in, twist, and tie it off. Now, brief aside that in a lot of kitchens nowadays, people use aluminum foil in place of cloth, and that's totally fine, but cloth does have its advantages. Because it can breathe, it lets a lot of the grease render off, which is what we want for a light, refreshing cold dish like this. But either way, just tie up the center, and we are ready to steam our chicken rolls. So to steam, to some rapidly boiling water, first add in a solid glug of Shaoxing wine and about an inch of ginger. Then nestle in a steaming rack, toss on the chicken rolls, cover, and let those steam for 15 minutes. After that time, shut off the heat and let it sit inside for another 5 minutes. Then, open up your steamer, take out the chicken rolls, and ideally, give those a quick dunk in an ice bath. Now once those are cool, add in your now chilled brine. Take out the goji berries and any large spices you feel like, then cover, and let that sit in the fridge overnight. Next day now, take out your chicken roll together with a few of the goji berries to serve. Slice off the twine, unwrap, and starting from the center, carefully slice your chicken roll into about 1/2-inch pieces. Now transfer those over to a plate. Toss on a few of the goji berries to make everything all pretty, and spoon a good bit of that brine all over everything. And with that, you've got yourself some drunken chicken, a nice refreshing dish to kick off summer.
So we did chicken roll because we already did a couple of bone-in poached chicken recipes. You can see them up here. If you went that route, you would want to use really fresh chicken. and then add some ginger, scallion, and Huadia wine to your poaching liquid. Keep it at a heavy boil. Then put your chicken in for about 3 minutes. Take it out, put it in an ice bath, and then put the chicken back in the heavy boiling poaching liquid. And then repeat this whole process for about 4 to 5 times. And then you can start the brining process. Put it in the room temperature brine and then let it brine for 8 hours or overnight. So check out the Reddit link in the description box for a detailed recipe. A big thank you for everyone that's supporting us on Patreon. And of course, subscribe for more Chinese cooking videos.